So is my voice audible now to everyone? Online people, can anybody respond? Is my voice?
Yes, audible.
Oh,
Yes, audible. Sir.
okay. Okay. So yesterday's class we discussed about. Yesterday we started manual testing. So from today onwards, next to 2 weeks, I would like to continue manual testing part. So yesterday we had discussed about manual testing. So let's revise the topics what we had discussed. Okay. Okay. So for any of the project, what are the types of testings will be done? Yesterday we had discussed for any of the project. Anybody? For any of the project, what are the types of testings that we can perform? Regression testing and progression testing. What is meant by regression testing? Re-execution of all existing functional test cases is known as regression testing. Okay. And progression testing means testing of new functionalities, new requirements is known as progression test. Okay, that is clear to everyone. Okay. So for any of the project development, how many teams will be involved? 4 teams. What are those teams? BA team, design team, development team, testing. So the responsibility of BA team is they will prepare BRD and FRD documents. They will give user stories walkthrough sessions. Okay, they will closely interact with the clients. So these are the activities. Design team, they will prepare HLD and LLD documents. Coding team, they will do development. Testing team, we will write the test scenarios, test cases. We will execute the test cases like that. Okay. So what is the test evidence? Guys, is my still some people are is my voice is audible to everyone, the online people?
It's audible.
Okay, right. So okay, we had discussed about that. Right, 1 second. So there will be in STLC requirements analysis phase, test design phase, test environment setup, test execution phase, and test closure phase. So these are the STLC. Yesterday we had discussed about software testing life cycle. What are the phases in a software testing life cycle? Okay, so right. Now let's discuss about SDLC, software development life cycle. Software development life cycle consists 4 phases, guys. Requirements phase, design phase, coding phase, and testing phase. Okay. So requirements phase, design phase, coding phase, and testing phase. These 4 stages we can call it as a software development life cycle. For any of the project, these are the phases will be there. Okay, coming to testing phase, STLC is part of STLC activities is part of testing phase. STLC activities. So software testing life cycle, it contains requirements analysis phase, test design phase, test environment, test execution, and test closure. So the detailed activities are so the STLC is part of testing phase. So for any of the project, these are the phases will be there. So during requirement phase, all the BA team, design team, everybody will be. During requirement phase, the BA will give the user stories walkthrough sessions. So all the teams will be participated. Means development team, testing team, okay, designer team. So all the teams they will be participated in that requirement phase. So he will be involved in. We will be involved in understanding of user stories, new functionalities requirement. That is known as requirement phase. Design phase means So the designers, whatever HLD, LLD documents it is prepared by designers, they will give walkthrough sessions. Okay. So they will send a meeting invitation request to everyone. Please join. This is the technical document. I am going to give the walkthrough. Can everyone join this session? So like that, the designers will send the documents, will send the meeting invitations about the new design changes. And coding phase means the developers, they will write the coding activities. And testing phase means so testing phase means yesterday we discussed what are the testing activities it will be performed as. So software testing life cycle is part of testing phase. Okay, so for any of the project, these are the 4 phases will be there. Okay, let's go to the documentation part. Coming to testing, one second. So coming to testing, so in the interviews, people are asking about SDLC and the STLC phases. Okay, SDLC means software development cycles, which contains various phases, requirements, design, coding, and in a software development progress. So in requirement phase, what we are doing, design phase, what we are doing, coding phase, what we are doing, and what testing phase, what we are doing. All these things I briefly explained. So you can go through this documentation part. Okay, right. And okay. So yesterday we had discussed about test scenario. So once we get BRD and FRD documents, we will list out the functionalities. We will list out the functionalities. That phase, what we are calling test design phase. So during test design phase, the testers, we will prepare, identify the test scenarios and identify the test cases. Identify the test scenarios and test cases. Okay, so the testers will identify test scenarios and test cases based on BRD and FRD documents. What is the point? Right. So now let's see how to write the test scenario and how to write the test cases. Those are the things we need to understand. Okay. So once you join, once yesterday we had seen a BRD document. Okay. So once you go through the BRD document, okay, so you will be involved in identifying the test scenarios and the test cases. Okay. Suppose there is a skills module is there in the application. In an Orange HRM application, there is a skills module is there. Verify user should be able to allow create skills, modify skills, and delete skills. The scenario name describes what we are going to do. So verify system should allow to create skills record, modify skills record, and delete skills record. And for this scenario, we can write n number of test cases. See, for this scenario, TC01 underscore add skills, TC02 underscore modify skills, and TC03 underscore delete skills. The objective of this test case is verify user should be able to create new skills record in the system. Verify user should be able to modify existing record in the system. Verify user should be able to delete existing skills record in the system. Okay, so a scenario contains multiple test cases. Okay, so from a document, once you go through the documentation, you have to identify the scenarios, and for each scenario, what are the combination of test cases that we can derive. That is the things you need to understand. Understood, everyone? So let me show you the documentation part. So this is called BRD and FRD document. Yesterday we had discussed. So this is the BRD FRD document. So once you join in the organization, they will give you this document. So where is that? In PIM admin skills. Okay, let me show. Open Orange HRM. So I'm navigating to here. So I'm going to login page. So I'm going to login page here, and under PIM module. Okay, once under admin module, under qualification skills. Okay, so under admin module, under qualification skills, so we can do creation of skills record by clicking on add button. Okay, so I'm clicking on add button and I am entering skill name as Java 5 and Java 5 description, and I'm clicking on save button. So the record got created. So how to create the skills record? So TC01 skills record functionality is working fine. And similarly, suppose if I want to do the second test case, what is the second test case? Modify skills. If it is the modify skills, I have to navigate to admin qualification skills. And after that, I want to click on existing record. Okay, let's click on existing record, this one. Okay, and after that, can I able to modify the details or not? So just I need to modify the details and I'm clicking on save. Whether these record details got modified or not, I have to verify. See, the details got modified. So the second test case is working fine. Okay, and what is the third test case? This is the one. Delete skills. Okay, like that. So for every module, so this is so we some for a given requirement, we need to identify test scenarios and test scenario objective. And for each test scenario, what are the different combination of test cases that we can identify? Okay, so let's go to the recruitment module. Recruitment module. So I am giving the application walkthrough. Actually, you need to identify the scenarios based on this PDF document, not based on the application. Okay, this application ideally it's not ready. Okay, this application will be ready once developers develop the code. Okay, so your reference document is also BRD document. So based on the BRD document, you need to identify the test scenarios and test case. Okay, suppose in recruitment module under candidates, okay, you need to click on add button. So we have to enter the details and we have to click on save. So all these details, so a candidate is being hiring for a particular position. So we need to click on save and whether the record had been created or not. Suppose I'm giving some details and position is for junior account assistance and @gmail.com. Contact number is not mandatory. So all other details are not mandatory. Okay, something is enforcing. Okay, browse documents, it's asking. No files. Okay. So like that, so each and every functionality, it will be defined in the BRD document. So how to create this candidate information, add candidate information. Okay. So once candidate information got created, we can able to see the candidate information here. So you can click on the candidate details. So once the candidate has been created, so schedule the interview. Okay, whether he got selected or not, if the panel got rejected, he will click on rejected button. Okay, all this functionality was defined in this documentation, in this application. So complete hiring process was there in the recruitment module. Okay, so our job is, see here. So the recruitment module verify under recruitment module, below status records are displayed. Okay, so status records, application initiated. When you click on submit, initially the status of the record, it has to be updated, application initiated. Reject the application when the application has been initiated. Application had been created and the interview panel had taken the interview. So there is reject button is there, and there is shortlisted candidates is there. So if you will click on reject, so the candidate got rejected. So it will, those comments, it will be updated by the interviewer. Short the application which has been initiated. So we need to shortlist the candidate. So he has gone through the first round. Let's click on shortlist. The second test case. Verify shortlist candidates can be rejected by hiring manager. Okay, so at any time the hiring manager can able to reject. Okay, verify applicant can reject after interview scheduled. After interview scheduled also it can be rejected. Verify applicant marked as interview failed after the. So these are the functionalities. These are the test cases I had identified based on the document. Got the point, everyone? So these are the list of test cases I had identified based on the document. Where is that? This is the document. So under recruitment module, where is that recruitment module? This one. So 97th page. So your job is you need to navigate to 97th page. So here, see the recruitment module candidates. Okay, application initiated, shortlisted, interview scheduled, interview passed. So for each status, we have to write the test case. What is the point? So for each status, when the application is initiated, when the application is shortlisted, when the application is interview scheduled, when the application is interview passed, when the candidate update is interview failed, job offered, offer declined, rejected, hired, finally hired. So all these functionalities, different functionalities are working fine or not. So we need to write set of test cases. We need to identify all the test cases under recruitment module like that. Got the point? Okay, right. So our job is we have to list out test scenario and test scenario objective, test case number and test case objective like that. So for every test case objective, you need to give like this, verify. So you must have to write an habit of verify, that is the keyword. So what we are going to prove, verify user should able to create, verify user should able to modify, verify. So better to write the keyword as verify, because what we are going to prove, you have to mention in the test case objective. Okay, so the overall summary of this one we are mentioning in the scenario. Okay, so once you give the once, so this document, so we will give this test scenario walkthrough documentation to all the people. Once you had identified test scenarios and test cases. Okay, you are working on recruitment module and candidates module, so on so modules you are working. You have prepared this Excel sheet, whatever modules that you are working. Once this activity got completed, you need to draft a mail. I have completed test scenario preparation, okay, for these modules. Can you please join tomorrow's session? I want to give test scenario walkthrough session. Whatever test cases that was identified by me, can you please join this meeting? So the tester will send a test scenario walkthrough session meeting to everyone, BAs, designers, testing team, and clients. So everyone they will send. It is not like that you have identified, and that has to be certified by all the people. Okay, you need to take formal acceptance from BA and designers especially, not from development team. At least you need to take sign off from BA and design team. Okay, once you prepare list of test scenarios, we have to take sign off. Otherwise, what will happen? Might be you will miss some of the functionalities. So during walkthrough session, you are giving each and every functionality. This functionality, it will prove this one, this functionality. So you are giving all the scenarios explanation. Might be you might miss 2 or 3 functional flows because those documents got prepared by business analysts and designers. So they will tell you during your walkthrough session, hi Ravi, you missed this functional flow. Can you please also add this scenario? Can you please add this test case under this scenario? Can you please add this scenario? So the purpose of test scenario walkthrough session is that you are covering all the test cases. So for a requirement, you should not supposed to miss any of the functionality. And during test scenarios walkthrough session, we are coming to know that everything is covering. Okay, so in the interviews, people are asking. In the interviews, people are asking this question like this. Indirectly, people are asking, how do you ensure that you are covering all the requirements? Got the point? How do you ensure that you are covering all the testing perfectly? I had given a BRD document. How do you ensure? ఎలా ensure చేసుకుంటున్నావు that you are covering, that you are testing all the functionalities? So you have to tell the answer. Once I get BRD and FRD documents, I will list out all the test scenarios and test cases. And after that, I will send a meeting request about the test scenarios walkthrough session to all the project team. And I will give the test scenarios walkthrough for every test scenario and test case objective, so that everybody will be on the same page what functionalities that I am going to test. So if something got missed during that walkthrough session, the BAs or designers, I will take their review comments. I will add those missing functionalities or whatever test cases that was missing. So I can incorporate their review comments and I can include those test scenario combinations and test cases, so that I can ensure that I am covering all the functionalities. Okay, so even 10 years people also, when this question is asking by interviewer, they don't know what to tell. How do you ensure that you are testing all the functionalities? This is a simple question the interviewer asks. So even 10 years people also, they will fail how to give an explanation about this question. Understood? So we are sending test scenario walkthrough session meeting to everyone, and we are incorporating review comment, and we are ensuring that all are on the same page. Okay, this is the explanation you have to tell. Okay, the next point is, so, and there might be the interviewer will ask, what is the test scenario template? Test scenario ID, test case object, test scenario ID, test scenario objective, test case number, and test case objective. So these are the 4 attributes will be there in the Excel sheet. So we will write our test scenarios in the Excel sheet. Okay, now, right this. So the second point you have to tell about RTM. RTM means requirement traceability matrix. Okay, so in your Word document, in a PDF document, you will have a numbers BR01, BR business requirement 01, business requirement 03. So like that, you will have, for each requirement, they will give some number. Okay, so that requirement document, so for this requirement, we have written a test cases as TC01, TC02. And for another test case, we have written TC04 and TC03. So for every requirement, the corresponding test cases are available. Understood, everyone? So for every requirement, corresponding test cases, we are mapping. So what is for BR003, what are the functionalities you are testing? The client is asking. So we can tell TC04 and TC03, these are the test cases that we are testing for BR003. Okay. So this is the document, we can call it as a RTM, mapping of requirements and test cases. Mapping of requirements and test cases is known as requirements traceability matrix. Okay, so see the over BR001, it's got passed or failed. It is got passed because these two test cases got passed and the overall status I am marking as pass. BR003 requirement got passed or failed. It's not completed because one test case is passed and another test case was not run. Not run means we haven't executed. We haven't prepared test execution evidence. So when we can say when the testing is completed for each functional flow, we have to prepare test execution evidence. Okay, test execution evidence means what? A list of related screenshots in a Word document. So if this for TC03 you have prepared test execution evidence, but TC04 you haven't prepared. So by default the status we kept it as no run, means we haven't prepared test execution evidence. So we can say BR003 status not completed. If BR001 means the test case execution evidences are ready. And BR03, one test case got passed and another test case got failed. So the overall status of the requirement we can say failed. BR003. So there are two, nothing was executed. So we haven't prepared test execution evidence at all. And BR004 blocked. See, in BR-TC0, because of TC05, we could not able to execute the test cases TC011 and TC012. Because of this functionality, these functionalities we are not able to test it. So you cannot make it as failed again. With the same issue, if it is getting failed, so you cannot make the status as failed. Got it? Suppose you are so we need to mark it as blocked because BR003 functionality got failed. TC test case TC05 functionality was failed. Because of that issue, I am not able to navigate these screens. So with the similar issue, other test cases are not working. We need to update test case status as blocked. Okay, don't update failed. Okay, we have to mark it as blocked because you need to fail it only one test case. With the similar issue, if other test cases are getting affected, you need to mark the overall status of the test case is blocked. So here we can say BR004 functionality was not tested because that issue got blocked because of TC05. Understood? So whenever I will share this RTM document to client, he will look into only this part only. BR01 passed, BR03 not completed, BR07 passed, BR08 passed. So like that he can go through the summary of this information. He want this one only. Okay, so now let's go to the summary point, what you have to tell in the interviews. See, requirement description, requirement coverage, test case ID and test execution status. So they will ask you, can you please give me the requirement RTM template? RTM template contains requirement ID, requirement description, requirement coverage, whether it is passed, failed, no run, not completed, blocked, and test case ID and test cases status. For each requirement, the test cases will be mapped. So we can say how to tell in the interviews. RTM is nothing but requirement traceability matrix. It is mapping between requirements and test cases. RTM gives complete requirement coverage summary. See, complete requirement coverage summary. Which of the requirement has been passed, failed, no run, and not completed, blocked progress summary, etc. So that it is easy to understand for the client the overall test coverage or execution progress by requirement wise. So ఈ షీట్ అప్డేట్ చేయటం వల్ల క్లయింట్ కి ఈజీగా అండర్స్టాండ్ అవుతుంది. ఓకేనా? సో అప్డేటింగ్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ RTM document is completely responsible by tester only. Okay, so I want to tell you, so the interview question is, now the interview question is, it is not like that what is an RTM. the interviewer won't ask question like this. How the question is asking is important. I had given a requirement. I had given a BRD document and FRD document, and you have to test all the functionalities. How can you ensure that you are testing all the functionalities? Here you need to tell 2 points, guys. 2 points. First point is we already discussed. Test scenario, walkthrough session, and we will incorporate the review comments. Okay, so that everybody will be on the same page. So this is the first point. So that I am incorporating the and I can ensure that I am covering all the functionalities. Second point is by going through the RTM. We will update RTM. We will map the requirements and test cases so that the client can easily understand what is the requirement coverage summary, what are passed and what are failed. So he can clearly knows. So by these two things, we can ensure that we are covering all the testing. Understood? So what is the generic concept people are telling I will do? I had given a BRD document, FRD document. How do you ensure that you are testing all the functionalities? What is the generic answer? I will do thorough testing, sir. That is the generic answer. Amirpet people, they will tell. I will do thorough testing. Thorough testing means what is the thorough testing? So I won't give each and every statement. For every statement, I will write the test cases. It won't give the confidence to the client. Whatever document you had prepared, test scenarios and test cases, you need to align with the BA and designers by giving test scenario walkthrough so that everybody will be on the same page. In case something got missed, they won't blame you because you have already given test scenario. You haven't covered this functionality, you haven't covered. So they are giving review comments. That means you are getting confidence. Even client people also getting confidence. Yes, the Ravi is covering all the functionalities. We can get confidence on the build like that. So that is the test scenario walkthrough sessions. And second one is RTM, requirement traceability matrix. 100% interview question, and most of the 90% people will fail how to express the answer for this. You won't get this answer in any Google documents. I can tell by experience only. You have to tell these 2 points. Okay, even if you go through a number of Google documents, Google FAQs, you won't get this answer. You have to tell these 2 points. Okay, so that I can ensure that I'm covering all the testing. Finishing is important. Okay, right, guys. So now we understood about right, RTM. So now we need to understand how to write a test case. How to write a test case. So the first activity is test scenario preparation. So this is test case, this is test case, this is one test. Now we need to write test cases, test case steps. So TC01 add skills. Let's go to TC01 add skills. So there is one test case. Create skills record under qualification module. So that is the test case. TC01 add skills. This is the test case. Verify system should allow to create skills record under qualification skills module. This is the objective only we had written here. Okay, this is the one. These two we have written here. Okay, so test case ID and test case objective. And the next point is we have to write step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and step 5. Understood, everyone? Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and step 5. Let's go to the step 1. Click on below orange HRM URL, username and password, and click on login button. Okay, user should be navigated to system should be user should be okay. User should navigate to home page. First, see on the left hand side, you have to write action. Okay, action means whether you are clicking on login button or some hyperlink only, it has to be written. You have to finish it. See here I am clicking on login button. User enters, click on open URL and enter username, password, and click on login button. I'm clicking of login button. What is happening? Action result you have to write on the right hand side. User should be navigated to whom? Click on below navigation, admin qualification skills. Click on below navigation, admin qualification skills. After clicking on skills, it should be navigated to skills space. So left hand side always you have to write action only, whether it could be button or hyperlink. On the right hand side, after clicking on that, what is happening, you need to write on the right hand side. Okay, see, click on add button. After clicking on add button, what is happening, you need to write. User should be navigated to new skills form page. Next one, enter skill name, skill description, and click on save. Okay, still action not complete. After clicking on save, what is happening, you need to write. Skills record is created and displayed in the list view. Correct, right? After entering the details are displayed in the list view. Click on the below navigation, welcome and log out. User should be logged out successfully and navigated back to login page. This is the functionality, it's there in the requirement. User should be logged out and it is navigated back to login page. So you need to make sure on the left hand side always you have to write action only. So your line has to end whether you are clicking on a button or whether you are clicking on a hyperlinks something. Okay, and what happening you need to write on the right hand side, action result. Don't suppose enter. So here I haven't written enter skill name and skill description. So, but I haven't completed action here. User should able to enter skill name and skill this. That is not correct. Okay. So user should able to enter skill name and skill description. That is wrong. So here you need to make sure enter skill name, skill description, and click on save. After that, what is happening on the right hand side? So in every step you can observe action will be there and action result will be on the right hand side. Okay, so these are the test cases. It will be given to automation testing teams to write the coding or to write the scripting part. Okay, so these are the manual test cases or the it will be given to automation testing team how to write the code. So all these functionalities it will be written by manual testing team for each step. So we understood TC01 and coming to modify skills record. Okay, 1 second. Modify skills record. To verify user should able to modify the skills record under skills module. So now the steps I have to write it for. Click on below navigation and step 3 I have to write and step 4 I have to write and step 5 welcome and logout button. So all the steps it will be. Okay, so in the interviews, people will ask the question, can you please tell me test case template? Test case template. Test case template contains test case ID, test case objective, what you are going to prove. So how you are going to prove the set of action and action results. How to write it in this format. So step number, description, and expected result. Okay, what is a test case template means? Test case ID, test case objective, and step number, description, and expected result. So for every action, corresponding action result will be there. Okay, 1 second. So for every step, corresponding action result will be there. Understood, everyone? Okay. So like that. So whatever test scenarios you had identified, you need to write detailed steps. You have to write for every test case, you have to write detailed steps. This phase we are calling as a test design phase. In test design phase, there will be 2 activities. The first phase is preparation of test scenarios. Okay, so the second phase is for every test case, the detailed steps you need to elaborate like this. And second test case got started here, and again you are writing set of steps. And third test case, and again you are writing set of steps. So for every test case, it contains some set of steps because the navigation things and test case objective, how you are proving, you have to write. So, so by so the objective of the test case is if somebody is reviewing your test case, they need to understand whether you have written correctly or not. Action and result, action result. You have written perfectly or not. That is the things it will be reviewed by your team members. Got it? So whether you have written, suppose I had gone through all these steps and this functionality is fulfilled or not, correctly written, the test objective is fulfilled or not. So these steps, the main objective of these steps is we are proving this functionality. Okay, so this thing we are calling as a test design phase. Okay, so in today's class we understood what are the things we understood. What are the things we understood? We understood about RTM, we understood about test scenario, and we understood about test cases. Okay, let me see. So in the requirement phase, okay, in the RTM, what are the columns are there? RTM template, requirement ID, requirement description, requirement coverage, test case ID, and test case status. Got the point? So this is the question people are asking. See, where is that RTM? All right. See, requirement ID, requirement description, requirement coverage summary, requirement coverage, test case ID, and test cases. If somebody will ask about RTM, you have to give this explanation. Okay, right. Somebody will ask after giving the BRD and FRD documents, what you will do? What we will do? We will be involved in preparation of test scenarios. So test scenarios means test scenario template. So the test scenario template contains test scenario ID, test scenario objective, test case ID, and test case objective. Okay. After going through the BRD FRD documents, your job is you need to identify what are the scenarios and test cases. For every scenario, what are the corresponding test cases. And once test scenario template is completed, for each test case, we have to write detailed steps. So the third one is the detailed steps. This one, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, like. Okay. So these are the three things. And we have learned one more important question. How do you ensure that you are covering all the time? I had given an application to you. How do you ensure that you are covering all the functionalities? This is the big people are asking. People are not asking what is an RTM, what is a test case, what is a scenario. They won't ask question like that. They will ask question like this, like a 10 years people, even for 1 year people also, 2 years people also, 10 years people also. The way of question is different. The way of asking the question is different. How they are asking? I had given an application to you. How do you ensure that you are covering all the functionalities? I had given a BRD document. How do you ensure that you are doing all the testing for that application? Like this. So you have to tell. First, I will go through the BRD FRD document and I will list out all the test scenarios. And after that, I can have the test scenarios walkthrough session meeting with the BA design development team and testing team. I will send that meeting request. And in that meeting, I will give the test scenarios walkthrough. Each test scenario ID and test case objectives I can explain. If something got missed, I can incorporate the review comments of BA and designers so that BA and designer they can get confidence that I'm covering all aspects of the system. Okay, and the second thing is, and also we are also preparing RTM as well, requirement traceability matrix. Okay, so which is nothing but mapping of requirements and test cases. So which of the requirement got passed, failed, not run, blocked. It's easy to understand the client, the overall execution progress by requirement wise. Understood? So the main objective is this one. So these are the test cases. It will be given to automation testing team to write the scriptings. Okay. So manual testers, they have to write the test cases, so that automation testing team, they will take the test cases, and automation testing team, they will take the test cases and they will write the set of commands, Selenium scripting part they will write. So to start the work, test cases and BRT documents both are important for automation test, because the functionality detailedly will be explained in the BRT documents. Because even these steps also, test case steps also, it had been written based on BRD. So the even the automation testers also, they will also refer BRD FRD documents, and also they will also refer test case. The main work we will get from the manual testing team. Okay. So tomorrow exercise for everyone is, okay, we can work out, because once you join in the organization, the main activity is writing of test cases. Okay, 80% of the work you have to write the how to write the test cases. That is the important. So tomorrow's class, I'm going to tell you how to write the test cases. Today on high level I explained. Tomorrow's class I will explain in detail. Okay, so how you have to think and how you have to write the steps. Okay, this is a simple test case. That's what you are understanding. Tomorrow I will more elaborate how to write the test cases, test case steps. Okay, so in tomorrow's class we will discuss about that. So is everyone clear? Today's summary of the object. Okay, so 100% people are asking about RTM, so they won't ask directly. Okay, so these are the things you need to understand. One second. Oh, let me finish this one, just 5 minutes topic. See, this is the BR number, BR011. And I'm going through the BRD document. And I'm going through the BRD document. Some description I'm not able to understand. What is that? So I raised my query ID number is 1. So query ID 001. And query description is, could you please confirm list of user roles to create this skills record? So what are the user IDs that I have to use to test this functionality? I'm asking this query description. And review comments. So in case the business analyst is prime somebody, he will provide he will update the comments once so because I kept this document in in Google Drive or some SharePoint. So whatever queries that I have, he will update the comments in the reviewer comments, either business analyst or designers. And to whom it is assigned? It is assigned to Prem. So it is the BA email ID, and you can send this information in the mail as well. Okay. And initially, when you raise the query, the initial status is open. Once you get clarification from the BA, you need to update the status as closed, so that the business analyst, he won't look into the closed things. He will look whatever is open, and so that he can update those comments. This sheet we can call it as a query tracker. What we can call query tracker. Sir, what is the purpose of this query tracker means? Because it's not guaranteed that we will understand each and every requirement. Okay, so you have to, whichever functionalities you are expecting answers from BA, you must have to update your query tracker sheet. So you need to copy that BR description, BR requirement ID, requirement description, and mention the query ID and query description. So these query reviewer comments and these 3 things you need to update. Once the moment when you log the request, you need to update the status as open. When it is got closed also, this is the start date and this is the end date. Suppose if the date is, the end date is after 5 days. After 5 days. So that means he has taken 5 days to give the comments. So this is the evidence, that is the delay not from my side. The delay was from by BA team, so that you won't be blamed, because you already kept it all the things. So nobody will point out you. If somebody, the business analyst is not replying from past 5 days, so the end date was closed by, so I'm updating, I got the clarification. And you can update the end date when you got the confirmation. Okay. So this sheet we can call it as a query tracker sheet. Query tracker sheet is very, very important. Suppose, sir, I didn't understood, sir. This is a generalized statement. What you are not understanding, you have to update in the query tracker sheet. Suppose there are 100 requirements are there. Requirement 01 might be you will understand some functionalities. 30 functionalities you got understood and remaining 70 functionalities you didn't understood at all. Let's keep all those requirements numbers each and everything. These things I know. So on day by day, let's keep 10 queries. Because you cannot go through all 70 requirements in one day. Okay, let's keep 10 requirements and you can keep your question, whatever it is, so that the reviewer he will review it, and once you get the clarification, you can make it as closed. This sheet we can call it as a query tracker sheet. When you are updating this query tracker sheet, the moment when you will get BRD FRD documents, while preparing your test scenarios, okay, some of the requirements are you are not able to understand. Until unless if you don't get clarification, you cannot derive the test cases or test scenarios. So you need to work out on the query tracker sheet. Okay, so we can call it as a query log also. Okay, so these things. So whenever you will get BRD FRD document, the main activity is two things: test scenarios preparation and writing of detailed steps for every test case. This phase we can call it as a test design phase. Okay, so in test design phase, what activities we are doing? We are doing preparation of test scenarios and we are writing detailed steps for every test case. So this is the activity we are doing, and updation of query lag tracker also we are doing during during design phase only. Because if something you are not understanding, you are also updating query tracker. So what are the activities you are doing during your test design phase? So these three things you have to explain in the interviews. What is the point? So during requirement phase, what are the activities you will do? We will be involved in understanding of the requirement sessions, which are given by business analyst, and whatever documents he had given, I am going through those documents, understanding the functionalities. So all these things I am doing. During requirement phase, something I am not understanding, I am updating my query lag tracker, and I am doing follow up with my BA until the query got closed. Okay, so these things you can tell during requirement phase. During design phase, during tested design phase, what we are doing just now we had discussed. Okay, so in testing, they will ask you about the templates. What is a test case template? Test case ID, test case objective, step number, description, and expected result. Okay, they will ask you this question, test case template. They will ask you about requirement RTM template, requirement ID, requirement description, requirements coverage, test case ID, test execution status. Okay, so they might ask you what is the test evidence. Test evidence is nothing but all the relevant screenshots of that particular functional flow is captured in a Word document. That is known as test evidence. Okay, everyone is clear. So in tomorrow, so that's it for today's class. So in yesterday's class, we had discussed about software testing life cycle, and we discussed about test design phase and requirement phase in detail. Okay, how to write test cases, because once you join in every organization, okay, whether it could be automation tester or manual tester, you have to write the test cases. 80% of the work is writing of test scenarios and test case only. Okay, so I'm going to take the session by tomorrow. Okay, so we will continue the test scenario preparation by tomorrow. Okay, so that's it for today's class. Guys, before winding the session for today, pause record.